No, you need to get out.
Well,
you need to get out.
No, I don't.
That was the last time we heard Melissa Click speak, but tonight that's all changing as she finally breaks her silence. Click reached out to ABC 17 News for her first ever interview following that infamous viral video and an assault charge that was later deferred. Tonight, I talked to Click about the viral moment, the fallout, and what's next.
What happened after that happened really quickly.
Do you regret it?
Sure, I regret it. When I watch the video, I feel sorry. I feel embarrassed by my actions.
Hey, who wants to help me get this reporter out of here? I need some muscle over here.
I never was calling for violence. It's just something that came out. I'm hoping that the people who will watch this interview will be able to identify with saying something in a hectic and flustering moment that they didn't mean, and you can only hope in a moment like that that you're not being recorded and that it won't be put on YouTube.
Have you ever had contact with professional activists before?
I'm sure I have met people who are professional activists, but no, I am not a professional activist, nor have I been involved with professional activists.
And had you, been in touch with Mike Middleton before that at any point?
No.
Jonathan Butler during his hunger strike, were you in touch with him during that point?
No, I've never met Jonathan Butler.
Just at the homecoming parade?
I mean, I stood with him, but we didn't speak.
Okay, so you've never had a conversation, interaction with him? Not even afterward?
No, I don't recall so.
Just so I understand, the first kind of interaction you ever had with Concerned Student 1950 was at that homecoming parade?
Absolutely. That was another moment that for me happened very quickly, and I was really moved by the students' message and disappointed with the crowd's angry reaction.
Do not engage! Engage? What the are you talking about?
I stepped forward, not knowing these students at all, to stand with them to let them know that they wouldn't be alone.
Were you aligning your beliefs with their movement as well?
I saw them as a student group that was asking the university, the administration, for help. And so I guess what I aligned myself with was helping students who were in need of help.
So not necessarily their set of beliefs in this movement?
Well, I never had any discussions or consultations with them about what actions they were taking in the movement. So I wasn't that engaged with them to know intimately what they were doing and what they were trying to accomplish.
Oh, a lot of people say, hey, you're a communications professor. You know about the First Amendment. Why did this happen the way it did?
Well, I think context is really important. I didn't see any police present on campus that day. And then to think back about how MU students, staff, and faculty were the only ones present on the quad to keep the crowd calm, I think that raises a lot of questions about who was in charge of the university that day.
Were you surprised when you were charged with assault?
I wasn't surprised that I was charged given the politically charged nature of the video. I think that the prosecutor was under a lot of pressure to have people feel that he held me accountable. But I do think that ultimately, because he deferred and dismissed the charge, he believed that I shouldn't be found guilty of misdemeanor assault. And, I believe that it's important to realize that many incidents that could have been considered assault happened that day on Carnahan Quad.
You have been the target of many lawmakers right now. Putting the university under a lot of pressure, talking about budget cuts. You've kind of been the poster of that. What has that been like for you, having the legislature be so involved?
Well, I think it's fairly common these days that public universities' missions are finding themselves at odds with the boards and the legislatures that govern and fund them. Difficulties with the Missouri legislature have a long history involving politics and money. So yes, maybe I have become the poster child of this current battle. I think that if that video hadn't been recorded, somebody else would be the face of it because the struggle was already there.
Have you ever considered that stepping down would be a good option for the university as a whole?
I do believe that the mistakes that I made that day should be put in the greater context of my 12 years at the University of Missouri.
So what's next for you?
Well, I hope I'm put back in my classroom soon. My students want me back. I'm ready to be back in my job. I don't believe I'm a danger to anyone. I have a lot to give the University of Missouri still, so I am awaiting good news from the Board of Curators that I can go back to the classroom. And I'm going to stay and fight for my job.
Once the cameras were off and I was walking Melissa Click to the door after the interview, she said to me, quote, "I hope people see me as a person and not a monster," end quote. You can check out the entire nearly half-hour interview for yourself. It's all posted on abc17news.com.